Okay, today I want to talk about the law of cause and effect and um, the law of sowing and reaping and sowing. My mentality there. Alright, so let me just start off by saying I've been staying consistent with gratitude practice. With waking up in the morning, the first thing I do being like to come and look at my notebooks, read something like at least for the first 30 minutes of the day. Like really like an hour, unless I go to the gym or I need to go somewhere fast. I like read and then go gym and then like run for like 9-10 minutes until I hit a mile, because my mile time is horrible. But I don't even be trying to run a mile fully. Sometimes I just start out walk. I'm just trying to get my mind back into the space of like running and stuff like that. And then I work out a little bit, and I'll probably be listening to like an audio book, probably The Science of Getting Rich. I'm just trying to feed my mind the right thoughts like every day. I'm trying to literally reprogram my mind, like literally. But anyways, let's talk about the law of cause and effect and how I'm about to really become more conscious of that idea in order to really become a master of my reality, And I think that there's a lot of power in that idea, because what it really does is allows you to be more conscious of the decisions that you make on a day-to-day and on a incremental and on a hour-to-hour, minute-to-minute type of basis, right? So like the amount of work you put in is the amount of work you get out. So like they actually even say that you actually get more from what you sow. So you actually reap more than what you sow, whether it's negative or positive, right? So I want to become more conscious of that, so it just allows me to like utilize the power of desire more, right? Like I can utilize my dopamine system a bit different, right? Because if I start to understand that law and you start utilizing it like that, I can start actually utilizing my imagination to like cause me to do things. So like, for example, if I'm thinking about the end result because I understand the law of cause and effect, then whenever I'm doing a thing that will cause that effect, essentially what I'm doing is actually motivating myself and allowing myself to have more discipline by that mentality. Like if it becomes a more conscious thing, right, then I will know that everything that's happened in the past is the reason I'm where I am today, which is an obvious cliche thing people say, right? But then it also means that anything I do like right now intentionally will give me a certain effect. So really what the game becomes is like learning what effect normally comes from a certain cause, and then just doing that, right? So it gives you power in this world, because then I'm like, all right, cool, if I do this, then I'm gonna most likely get this, right? Based off of what I've seen, based off of my mentality, based off of the knowledge, based off of experience of life. So how do I attach that to what I'm doing right now? All right, cool. I have like a goal, right? And I'll say it again here, but wealthy global artist, designer, serial entrepreneur that takes care of his loved ones, has a high impact and like has enough money to, for generational wealth, that type of thing, right? If I like really analyze that effect that I'm seeking, I won't even say sacrifice, the only cause that could allow for that effect to come is a focused mind. Like for each of the little things I described in there, the only way I can get that is that if I have a certain mentality, like thought process, because your thought comes before action, right? And then action comes before like reality or effect or something like that, right? Like, so it's like the initial cause is the thought process. So like if I can choose the right thought process, and like a thought process that will actually allow me to take action, which is the thought process I just described to you, which is like understanding what my desire, like the outcome, keeping that in my mind, focusing on it, and having persistence, until it's completed. It's inevitable that I can get to my goal. And what that allows me to do is wake up with more purpose every morning, because essentially what I'm going to be doing is just actually and doing things on the world. Like instead of the world have like doing things to me, like I'm doing things to the world. So it's like cause and reaction. Every action has a reaction, right? It's the same thing. Law of cause and effect is Newton's law. Every action has a reaction, you know. So if essentially what they say is like, when they say like act, like the art of action is really just like keep acting, keep doing stuff to keep getting a reaction, right? So like you do things in order to get a certain reaction, right? So the more you do, the more you try, the more of a reaction you're gonna get. So you have to be able to estimate what type of reaction you're gonna get, right? And the people that normally get everything out of life are people that have been able to observe patterns in life based off of like things they've learned, experience, you know, and really I think they learn from experience and intuition, really. So if you're able to do that, then you become a master and you can create any reality. That's actually how it works. It's actually the law of cause and effect. That's the manifestation thing, right? Like you understand, like that's really faith too. Faith is actually the law of cause and effect. In like you have faith in a just God. You have faith in like the law of cause and effect. If I do this, I should get this. If I didn't get it this time, there might be something I need to tweak, or I need to keep doing it in order to have more, like to put more energy into it for it to give me that return. And when I do get that return, because I had to put more energy into it. Let's say you're taking an action that you think is going to give you a return, like a specific action that normally has a certain effect, but maybe that effect is delayed. When the delay actually comes, it's going to be actually compounded. So people that take longer to reach their goal, when the time comes, it's actually a compound effect, and it actually is way more powerful, and you get more in abundance actually. So people that normally do things, like normally they know what effect they're gonna get. Like let's say they get, like they put out something and they get a big return, you know, the law of cause and effect still worked there, but the compensation still has to be met with the energy balance. Like they're gonna have to start giving out, they're gonna have to act more. Or at least they're spiritually gonna have to give out more or energy in order to match the amount of energy that came. That's why some people that blow up quickly, they can't sustain that, because the law of cause and effect has to still balance. But the people that take longer to like get there to their goal, they're putting more action in. So when their goal gets, like whenever the effect, the reaction comes from their action, it comes back in multiples. It comes back in like compounded. And so it's really a law of compound interest. So it's really a really magnificent, like it's really a crazy idea. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like it's a crazy and probably the most important idea to be conscious of in order to like really take responsibility for your life. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Yeah, man. So that's really the law of cause and effect and how I'm about to start utilizing it. Apart from that, like I've been growing. I'll say like daily I've been working on myself. Daily I've been meditating on what I'm doing, on my progress. I could probably get a lot more intricate. I could probably start lining up and planning things a lot more. And but I think I'm gonna just like continue to learn to take more action. You know, I'm trying to say calculated action. And then once I get the feedback from that one, take another calculated action, and then continue to do that. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But yeah, that's all I have to say today. I'm grateful for life, and yeah, man, we're still on the journey. You know what I'm trying to say? Building every day, and we're gonna look back on this video and be like, damn, that nigga was learning, he applied that shit, and yeah, man, 100.